Hey guys, it's Brittany. I don't normally vlog. Actually, I've never vlogged, now that I think about it, and it's been a while since I've talked to you guys like this, face to face on camera. Basically, the point of this vlog is for Post It Forward. And I saw that this was a thing, a campaign that Tumblr was doing to share your story and then share like advice and just positivity. So I guess I just kind of wanted to share my story that I have not shared so far. I'm gonna start with where I am now. So as of recently, you might have seen me on The Voice, and that was an incredible experience, probably the funnest time of my life thus far, the most surreal time of my life thus far, and it was such a growing experience, a learning experience, and it was just incredible. And I am amazed that I was able to go through that and remain sane. If I had gone on a show like that a few years ago, I honestly don't know how I would have handled it. When I was 18, I was finally diagnosed with depression and bipolar 2. I like to think I have it pretty mild, but it has affected many areas of my life. I think it has stemmed from trauma I experienced as a child. It kind of unlocked that, and I've had to go through a lot of stuff throughout my life that I had to be really strong. I found comfort in obsessing over things like Titanic, and then Green Day, and all my other bands that I love, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, whatever. Those are the things that I've found home in, and that I just kind of got lost in to not think about real life. It didn't really start presenting itself until about 14, 15, and I started posting on YouTube. And if you'd been watching me for a long time now, you might have noticed that in the past I would take a lot of breaks. There would be weeks, maybe even months would pass without me posting a new video. Every time I would return with a new video, all the comments were like, "Yeah, you're back!" Like I was always apologizing, like, "Sorry, I haven't posted." The reason behind that is because there were times when I would just get so down, that I would just stay in bed forever. Or then there would be times where I would be like super like manic, like, "Yeah, let's do this." Like I'd just do nothing but like work on music for like a week, and then I'd crash. It just wasn't healthy, really. That's why there were so many times in my YouTube life where I would just kind of disappear. It was annoying to me. Where the main ways you can maintain an audience is to be consistent, and that was one thing that I couldn't really do. There would be times where I would be so manic that when I'd do a YouTube take, I would be in my room for 8 hours straight, no food, no water, nothing, and I would be so gung-ho about this video. If anyone even came into my room, I would scream, I would like start crying, I would just get so into it, but not in a good way. Something wasn't right. I started feeling a lot of guilt about something, and I didn't know what it was. It was like this heavy weight at the back of my mind, just always there. And I didn't know what it was, and it was making me feel like I wasn't worthy of things. And I know that I was, given this talent. I always knew that that was a thing that was given to me somehow, and I always knew that it was going to be what I would do with my life. But because of this weight on my mind, that at the time I had no idea what it was so frustrating, because it affected everything. And I mean, like, everything. I know there's a lot of you that have watched me for a long time and till this day are like, "Why don't you have more recognition? Like, why aren't you signed?" And one thing that this has affected was, in the past, I was approached by people when I was younger, 15, 16, by a couple different things and a couple different producers and one or two labels. But the thing was, I was not ready. That was what was so frustrating, was that I knew that this is what I wanted to do with my life, and I knew that there's really no other path for me, and I was getting these opportunities, and it was obviously what I had always wanted, what I'd always dreamt about, but it wasn't right. It was driving me crazy because I'd go to these meetings and I'd meet with, people that I'm not really going to name, but big people. I didn't have my sound or style yet, and I think deep down I knew that, but it was more so it was my brain. It was off. It couldn't handle anything. I was so stressed and had, like I said, these feelings of guilt that I didn't deserve these opportunities. Why are these opportunities happening to me? And there was all of those thoughts conflicting with the thoughts of, I know that this is what I need to do with my life. Why can't I do it? What is stopping me from feeling like I can take these opportunities? And it was the most conflicting, frustrating thing to happen to my mind. Now looking back in hindsight, I am so happy that I didn't take those deals and opportunities, because I was not ready, number one, mentally, and number two, I didn't have a sound or style yet, so God knows what I would be right now if I took those opportunities. I'm so glad that I waited to find myself on my own as an artist. So basically, for a long period of time in my life, it was a struggle. It was feeling like I didn't deserve anything. All this kind of stuff was just piling up. I've had panic attacks in the past over just letting myself get too far behind in so many areas of my life. It was just always one thing or the other. That was always a tough thing. And when I was 18, I went to a psychiatrist. I hope that's the right word. I think that's what it's called. They had me answer all these questions, really talk to me in depth. I went through some tests and they came to the conclusion that I have bipolar 2. When they told me, I was like, well, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's really frustrating though when I try to explain this to some friends. They'll be like, oh, well, we all get like that sometimes. You don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't understand how crippling it can be. You just physically feel as if you cannot do everyday things. I could not get out of bed. My whole body was sore. That would happen so much, to the point where it was like, yeah, this isn't normal. I should probably get checked out. My doctor put me on meds, so I have been on medication now since I was 18. And I know that medication doesn't work for everyone, and I've found that the medication does help me personally. Just on 2 medications, but I feel like the more important of the 2 is the mood stabilizer. Like I said, my biggest problem was like high highs, low lows. Like, I would be super on point and then super not on point, and everything would fall apart. Then it was like a constant battle. And I clearly remember the day that the meds started to kick in. I woke up one morning and that weight that I had on the back of my mind my entire life was gone. Like I woke up and it was just like lifted, and I was like, oh my god, like, is this what it feels like to be like normal? Yeah, I wasn't normal before. Like, that was not a normal thing to have. The craziest thing was that I had those feelings of guilt and just feeling so off ever since I was a small child. I was 4 or 5 years old, not being able to sleep at night because of these thoughts running in my mind and these feelings of just being scared and always feeling like something was wrong. And I don't think a 4 or 5-year-old should be having thoughts of guilt. All you're really supposed to know at that age is just carefree and just, kindergarten or whatever. And it wasn't like that for me. And I'm so thankful that it was found out at the time of my life that it was, because that's when Amy Winehouse died, and that's when I started to listen to her music out of just respect for her. But her music somehow struck a chord within me and kind of just woke up that part of me that I grew up on. My grandfather raised me on jazz standards, my mom raised me on R&B, and listening to her music kind of sparked that within me again. Because for those of you that have been following me for a long time, there was a long period of time where I was obsessed with the Jonas Brothers. You know, obviously I was always obsessed with Green Day, and then super into pop punk stuff for almost half my life. For a long time, I thought that I was supposed to do pop punk stuff or pop rock stuff, and I was forcing my voice to do all this, and it just wasn't right. By the time I was 18, I was starting at Berkeley, I was starting at college.
Next is a vocalist, guitarist, and songwriter from the Berkeley City Music Program. Also performed on the Chris Allen Berkeley City Music and Music Empowers Tour in 2011. Plans to study performance and songwriting. Please congratulate Miss Brittany Butler.
I just kind of let what came naturally come naturally. That's when I really found my voice. Then eventually, by the time I was 20 or so, I really found myself as an artist, I think. And now at 21, almost 22 next month, I feel so secure in practically every area of my life. I am happy, and obviously, you know, the medication, it isn't just like, oh yay, everything's just going to be perfect now. It's always going to be a struggle. You know, you see other people getting ahead of you, and it's really, really frustrating, especially in the YouTube land. I've been posting on YouTube now since 2007. That's about 8 years now. I know that I said, you know, I had gotten some opportunities, but now that I feel like I'm ready for them, it's more difficult because YouTube is such a competitive place now. It feels like you have to have like the most amazing HD produced videos and all this stuff to make it just seem super, super professional, and that's not really in my budget. It's been kind of frustrating to just kind of still be sitting here in my room doing what I've been doing since I started, except now with a mic and GarageBand. Yeah, so, and for those of you that have stuck with me this whole time and are still watching my videos with just me sitting on my bed with my guitar, thank you. I really appreciate it, because my style kind of drastically changed, and I know I lost a lot of people during that time, but I also gained a lot of people during that time, so it was a good thing that needed to happen though. I'm so glad I found this style that suits me, and I love to be able to change up songs that I love. One thing that made me really upset after getting off of The Voice was that I didn't get the opportunity to do that on the show. That was hard. For a couple good months after being eliminated, I was just thinking to myself, I thought this was my time, like, why didn't it work out? I know I have this sound and style now, I thought I was unique, like, what happened? And it was just like, all of these thoughts running through my brain. The reason why I cried so hard when I was eliminated and still get upset now when I think about it is because I didn't get the chance to show America, or the world for that matter, what I'm fully capable of. I didn't, you know, get to play my guitar or like do covers like Dance Dance or something that shows what I could do artistically to songs and stuff, and that was hard, because that was one of the one things I was looking forward to doing if I had made it farther. So then it kind of set me back a little bit, you know. I was like, okay, like, what am I gonna do now? Like, I was really hoping that I would make it far. I mean, granted, I did, You know, the audition process was so long. It was almost half a year before I even made it to a blind. I am so proud of myself for going through all of that. But then I kind of got this fire under my butt. I started getting excited. I was like, well, you know what? No, I'm gonna put out more YouTube videos. I'm not gonna stop. I'm going to work on an EP finally with the little equipment that I have. I am so excited about my original music because I've done everything entirely by myself. It's produced as a full band. I'm so happy with the way it sounds and the fact that I have just done it all in my room. I can't wait for it to be finished and for you guys to hear it. So basically, the point of this video is that I've gone through all of this in my life that some of you, well, most of you, probably all of you, didn't even know was going on. And I've come out on the other side and I feel ready to take on life. And of course, like I said, it is an everyday thing, you know, one day at a time. Those thoughts are still there sometimes, like they were today. And I didn't get out of bed until 5 p.m. But I got past that, and that was just a small bump in the road again. But there will be small bumps, you know, there will be things like that forever, probably. But it's how you get back up from those bumps that matters. Obviously, like I said before, by far, being on The Voice was the biggest thing I've done in my life so far, and I was ready for it, and I'm glad that I was. So basically, I've been through a lot. I'm sure we've all been through a lot, and it is possible to just persevere, find out what's going on. If you feel like there might be something going on that's not right, you know, find out what works for you and stick with it, and before you know it, you will feel great, hopefully, and be able to do what you've always wanted, the way you've always wanted. But I just want to say a big thank you again to all of you guys that have watched me for years or have started watching me since The Voice or have found me today. I really appreciate it. You're only as good as your fans and supporters, really. I mean, what would I be if no one was watching my videos? I mean, let's be real. So thank you guys for all that and sharing and commenting and everything. It helps so much, and it makes my day every time I, you know, log on to YouTube and see new comments or new views and likes. I'm just like, oh, it just makes me feel good about what I'm doing and gets me and keeps me motivated. It's just the best, and I thank you for that if you've ever done any of those things. Just wanted to do this Post It Forward video just to share what I've been through, because I haven't, like I said, I haven't ever really vlogged much and I haven't talked to you guys in a long time. I just thought, why not? Because everyone goes through stuff. Yeah. So I hope this video has been enlightening in some way for you. And if not, I guess you just learned some stuff about me. But yeah, I just felt like sharing. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome and be happy. Okay.